Welcome back, everyone, to the IBJJF Podcast. My guest today is Jackson Nagai. Jackson is a world's bronze
Hey,
medalist, a Pan silver medalist, and he just won the American Nationals this past weekend in Vegas. Jackson, how you doing?
I'm doing good, brother. And you?
I'm doing great. So it's been really fun watching you compete. You've been super active in 2023, but I wanted to start out because in 2022, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you had any IBJJF or competitive matches that year. So can you talk about why you took that break in 2022?
Yeah, first of all, it was because I started doing MMA and I was training MMA only. I stopped jiu-jitsu for like a month, I think like 5 months. And when I was getting better and I was getting good MMA, I hurt my knee. I hurt my knee really bad. Then I went back to Brazil to see if something was broke. In jiu-jitsu, you see a lot of people doing surgeries.
Yeah.
They hurt their knee, and I was like, I think that's going in my head. I was like, oh, my knee's broke, I gotta do surgery. That's why I was off. And I was off for jiu-jitsu and MMA because I canceled my fight too. That was
So
very sad year.
I'm sure. So how did that recovery go with your knee? Is everything fully healed now?
Yeah, I was good. I went to Brazil, I got MRI, and nothing was bad, everything was good. I just need some rest. I think I was pushing too hard in MMA training. But when I went to coach my brother Words when he got there, I was like, nah, I gotta do this again.
So Sam's performance at last year's Worlds was a big catalyst
Yeah,
for getting you back into the gi and back
yeah.
into competing in jiu-jitsu.
Because for me, I want to be in the big stage too. I started jiu-jitsu late. Like my brother, he started being professional very young age. I start very late. I have jobs because right now the new generation, they kind of jiu-jitsu their own job. They train their whole life. Since they was like 13, 12, they just do jiu-jitsu. And when I was young, like 15 to 21, I was working Japan in the industry like 10 hours a day. And when I started to become professional, it was like 25, like 3 years ago. Three
Wow.
years ago. Yeah,
That's pretty incredible. Why don't we talk about that a little bit more? You said you from 15 to 21, you were working full time in Japan and
full time.
didn't really have too much time to be a
No,
professional athlete. So when did you actually start training? And then if you just want to get into how that kind of evolved into the career that you have now in jiu-jitsu as a full-time athlete.
I start counting. I'm like a professional fighter when I start training with Lucas. That's when I realized, like, because before I was just drilling, like rolling. I never lift the weights. I was just jujitsu only. Then I start training with Lucas, and Lucas told me like, "Hey, very important to lift the weights when you're competing. You need to have the extra strength. You need to lift because you're gonna get hurt a lot." I believe like 3 years ago, that's when I start become more professional. I understand like I have to lift, I have to do this, I have to do that. It's very important you have high level professor around you too,
Yeah.
like Lucas, he been world champion so many times, and the way he push our training, the way he tell us what to do, that's a big impact. Because before me and my brother, like me and my brother, when we came first time, my brother won words of blue and purple, was just me and him. We didn't have any guidance, any support. It's very important. Like for the new generation, if you wanna be on top, you look to those guys like Tainan, Mika Galvão. They always have somebody behind them. You need to have.
It's amazing that you guys were able to reach such a high level with just each other and without that leadership and that head coach.
But it's very hard. You can be high level in the situation, but you're gonna struggle a lot. I think when you have somebody behind your back, when we have so many great coaches, right? We have like
Yeah.
Galvão, Lucas Leite, Mendes brothers. I think it's better if you train with those people. It's easier.
Yeah.
Lucas is amazing. Just to look at his lifestyle, he loves jiu-jitsu. He wake up, think about jiu-jitsu. He wake up and he work out every day. It's amazing. It's impossible to don't get motivated. Be around Lucas Leite.
That's awesome. So now you have Lucas behind you. You have that
Yeah,
professionalism. Now I feel like this has been your best year in competition. You've been really active. You competed at the Santa Cruz Open, Denver Open, Houston Open, Worlds, and American
yeah.
Nationals this year. So what did it feel like to get back into those open tournaments earlier this year after that long break and after overcoming that injury?
Man, it's so much fun. I love it. I love fighting. I love competing, and that's never happened to me before. If you look to my brown belt times, I just compete the big tournaments. I got second in words. I was just competing the big ones, and when I got my black belt too, I went to right after COVID. I remember when was the first time I fought Ronaldo. I wasn't trained at all, and my brother signed up for Pan Am's, Mateus Gabriel, everybody, and I wasn't training. I bought a mountain bike. I was just mountain bike every single day, and I told Lucas like, "Hey, professor, I'm gonna sign up for Pan Am's," and he's like, "Oh, you crazy, Jackson? You didn't train, you this and that." And I went there. I went to the finals. I lost for 2 points. I was tired too, and I think this year's been my best year because I be able to compete more. I I working with jiu-jitsu, I teaching, I go train with Lucas more because I train with Lucas, but I don't go every day. Like I have my work to do. I have to teach my students, and I'm not able to go every single day. I hope one day I be in the situation I can go every single morning there because that's make a big difference.
Yeah.
But
So
this
like
year is my best year.
yeah, for sure. I definitely agree. You've had amazing results in the Open, and then you also had a great performance at the
Yeah.
World. So I want to talk
And
about the Worlds.
hey, next year is gonna be better because I'm gonna be master. I've been telling Sam like, man, next year I'm master. I don't gonna fight adult anymore, just
Master World
master.
Champion.
And my brother get mad like, no, you don't wanna fight master. You're gonna fight adult. I was like, man, leave me alone. I'm gonna go master.
Let's talk about the Worlds. You dropped to lightweight, and you're normally
Yeah.
competing in the middleweight division. I think you did middle at all those Open tournaments leading up to the Worlds. What was it like dropping down to lightweight and making that weight?
This time was good because last time I got third in Pan Am's, I think 2021 or 22. I think it was 22. 22, 21, I got third.
Yeah.
First time I got second against Ronaldo. Then because I walk around lightweight division. My weight is like 169,
Hmm.
and I just don't do diet. I don't cut weight. When I weigh in, I'm probably the lightest one in the middleweight. I be around like 170, 172. I never can get like 180. That's too heavy for me. And this time was the first time I got sponsored for a nutritionist, and she made my all meals. Like she made me weigh every single meal. It was very easy. I dropped my weight. I was feeling really strong. I lightweight division.
Yeah, you looked great physically, and then you had some amazing wins. You won your first match, I believe, it was an armbar. Then you
Yeah,
fought Natan Chuang, who got silver at Europeans and Brasileiros.
that
Really
guy's
tough
good.
guy,
He's very
very
good.
very good, amazing guard.
Yeah,
Then you fought Espen, got the submission over
I
Espen,
got
who's a European
submission.
champion. Amazing
Yeah,
fight.
that
Then
guy's good too. I've been
very
watching
good.
him a lot.
And then you fought Jonta Alves, who's the eventual champion. He didn't score any
Yeah,
points on you. He got some advantages for that near
yeah.
back take, but that was a great fight as well. Let's start with the fight with Natan Chuang. Like I said,
Okay.
he was the silver medalist at Europeans and the Brasileiros. He's been having a great season. Talk to me about that match and how you felt that one went.
Oh, that was great. I was talking to Sean Robert. He's my friend. He have a sector gym in Chino,
Hmm.
and he was telling me like, "Oh, you're probably gonna fight JT next fight." And I knew Nathan. I was like, "Sean, I don't know, man. I think Nathan's gonna win. He be active, cause doesn't matter how good you are. Sometimes just to be competing all tournaments, you get like used to it, and
Yeah.
and become easier for you to fight. So JT is a big name, but he wasn't competing in a lot of tournaments, and I knew Nathan's gonna win. I was telling everybody like, no, Nathan's gonna win. I need to be ready for him. I need to be ready for him, and he won. Uh,
Yep.
and your fight was very hard. He had very good guard recover, but I think he was kind of tired, and I was able to just push the pace. For me, it was a very good fight. I was good. I was feeling really strong.
Yeah, that's amazing. And that puts you in the next fight against Aspen Mathisen, who's a
Yeah,
European champion. Everyone knows Aspen for his Baron Bolos, for his guard. Really tough competitor. Always puts on great matches. I know you got the submission in that match. So talk
yeah.
me through that match and that victory.
And that was funny because I was talking with a high level a black belt too. He's Leonardo Sagittario. He's from American Top Team,
Yeah.
and he was telling me like, "Oh man, you beat Nathan. That guy's tough. Nathan's tough. If we spin, it's gonna be so much easy." And that's got in my head. I was like, "Nah, next fight is gonna be easy. I'm gonna tap. What's his name again? Span
Aspen. Yeah.
Aspen. When I feel his grips, I'm like, wow, this guy's strong. I can think it's gonna be easy. That's when I give 100%. He almost got my foot. He got full lock on me, but it's very hard for me to tap in leg locks. Then I escaped from there, and I passed, and I did a canto choke.
Yeah, that was a beautiful victory.
Yeah,
Very,
that was
very
amazing.
impressive victory for you. and that put you in the semi against Jonata Alves. So tell me
Yeah.
about the fight with Jonata.
No, Jonathan is a very technical guy. My brother already fought him. I thought we are gonna give a show, like go really hard, and little by little on the mat, I start getting frustrated because he didn't want to move. In my game's about moving. You're never gonna see videos about me winning by like just one position all time. And but that's his style. No, everybody have a different jiu-jitsu. Like if you watch me, my brother, we kind of go forward all the time, no matter what. If you win, we win. If you lose, we go back home and train again. But though for me that was okay. I gave my best. He won. I'm not those guys get mad when they lose. I accept my loss. I'm gonna work on that.
So you brought it up a couple times, just talking about your style and how you like a lot of movement. You get a lot of submissions. You also get a lot of points victories that are like where you score a ton of points. So talk
Mhm.
about your style and kind of just like what your goals are when you go into a match and competition.
I started jiu-jitsu back in the days when I was 17. Yeah, 17. That's like 14 years ago. And if you watch like old school jiu-jitsu, all those guys was going for like for kill each other. Remember back in the days, they hate other jams. Was a bad thing. Was a bad thing because
Yeah.
they have a lot of there was like very rival. There was rival, and everybody was going to kill each other. And that's how I learned jiu-jitsu. Like when you go for a fight, you go for submission. Like sometimes I win by points. Like for example, like when I win by 3 point, 2 point, I get mad with myself. I like, wow, I win by points. Like I couldn't tap the guy. I couldn't submit him. I think that's my style. I like to submission. I like submission, and that's kind of style for Manaus. If you pay attention, like if you look guys from Manaus, like we don't want to win by advantage points, and that's kind of bad for me. That's why I try to change my I want to change my style a little bit because sometimes guys really tough like Ronaldo. I just lost for Ronaldo because I swept him and I tried to armbar him and he got 2 points for that. Or maybe I think the rules, I don't know. I need to learn more how to fight in the rules.
Yeah, like you said, you and your brother fight in a very similar way, always looking for the submission, always
Always.
putting on really exciting matches. Let's talk about Sam because I know you guys had some great moments at the 2023 Worlds. Sam won his first world title, had that amazing armbar victory over Isaac
Mm.
Doderline, one of the best submissions of the whole event. Tell me about what it felt like to watch your brother win his first world title this year.
Man, Samuel works so much harder than everybody. For words camp, like I was training, like I say, I was going to Lucas like twice a week, three. My brother was going like twice a day. He was going every morning. He was going at night. I was telling my wife, like, man, I feel bad for Samuel. I don't want to he get hurt again. I don't want to he burn out. But I think he knew. He knew like nobody gonna take the world title from me. And he did awesome job. He all fights he have so much confidence. I knew he's gonna be a world champ. The day his head was on the place. Samuel is very talented guy, but he also works so hard. Samuel is a people. I think guys like Samuel, those guys like Tynan, they are very good example for the young kids because the young kids can look to them like, wow, those guys are real champ on the mat and outside the mat. Like it's a very big example. And I was telling Samuel all the time, one day you're gonna be world champion, man, black belt world champion, because everybody know how good he is. He's really good. He's really good. And the hard thing is to stay on top, right? To
Yeah.
get there sometimes easy, but it's hard to stay there. And Samuel, he give a lot of motivation for me too. I had a couple students, like young kids, sometimes the young kids they have a lot of support for the parents, and they want to quit easy. Every struggle they have, they want to quit. Their life is hard. Jiu-jitsu is hard. And I was telling one student, I was like, man, my brother in Pan Am's, he tapped for like the first fight.
Yeah.
Last year in Jiu-Jitsu, he went to semi-finals. He tapped for full luck. He came back this year. Nobody scored one advantage on him. He make look so much easier, and but nobody see the struggle, right? Everybody just see the goal. Everybody just see like, oh, he won. Oh, he this. But nobody see the hard times we had. That's why I think the most important thing, no matter how hard the life is, that if you're losing, if something bad happened to you, you just keep going forward. Believe in yourself. Like Sam, he's
Yeah.
a good. he's a good motivation for everybody.
What was it like coming up through the color belts training with him? I think there's a lot of good examples of siblings in jiu-jitsu, like the Miao brothers, the Mendez brothers. There's various other ones as well that they really push each other, and it just helps having someone to always train with. Sam isn't your same weight class, but he's pretty close in size. So what was it like
Yeah.
coming up through the ranks with Sam?
Yeah, it was really good. I was kind of mean to Sam. When I started jiu-jitsu, like I said, I was late. When I started, I was 17, 18, and I have a lot of tough guys on my gym. I have a kid. He was all national judo champion. He was a black belt judo champion. A blue belt, he was winning everything. He won Asia Open, Tokyo Open. He won Hickson Cup. And for me, I was feeling like, oh, I'm so late in jiu-jitsu. I start so late. And somewhere I was like 10, 11. I was making someone wake up like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to drill with me. My mom was getting mad. My mom's like, "Why are you guys doing jiu-jitsu?" She doesn't like jiu-jitsu. She still doesn't like jiu-jitsu. I call her when Samuel won words. I call her like, "Hey, mom, Samuel is a black belt world champion," and she's like, "Oh, congratulations." She doesn't understand how big it is, right?
Yeah.
I I was telling her like for where we came, like we came without support. We didn't have support. We started jiu-jitsu because our dad left home and it was just me, my brother, my mom. And that's why we started jiu-jitsu because we feel like we need to protect our mom. And I was telling my mom too, the way we start is no way for us to be on top in the high level. A lot of Brazilians they think, oh, Samuel and Jackson came from Japan, they have a very easy life. But no, we struggle a lot. But Samuel always gave me hard time. I've been telling a lot of people. It's still Lucas, no? Lucas was telling. I think Lucas make a post. It's like I remember when Sam came to train here. He was a blue belt juvenile, and Jackson was a brown belt, and they gave a hard time for everybody. Samuel, when he was a blue belt, he was already a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good, man,
Yeah, one
and
of my
very
favorite
humble.
performances of his was actually a purple belt. He actually beat Jointa Alves in the final
Yeah,
lightweight at the Worlds a couple years back. So that was an
he
incredible
beat a
moment for
lot
me
of world
too.
champions that day.
Mm-hmm.
He fought
Italo Mora.
Italo Moura. He fought a lot of good guys. He passed everybody guard.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was amazing.
that was amazing.
So let's talk about nationals. Nationals just happened this past weekend. You won the gi division. You had two submissions in your two fights. Looked really, really good. Tell me about how it felt to come back from the worlds after that great performance and then put on another great performance at American Nationals.
Yeah, American National was really good. I was always trying to fight American National since I got here, but I couldn't. I was struggling with a lot of things, and this time was easy. I got a sponsor. Uh, I want to say thank you to Jason and Sergio. They sponsor me. Sergio have a restaurant. He have a Mexican restaurant here in downtown Pomona. They sponsor me to go there, and man, I have so much fun. Like I said, I love fighting. I love competing, and it was really fun.
You did the
And
Nogi.
I did nogi too.
Yeah,
I
let's talk
started
about
doing
Nogi. Tell me about the
yeah
Nogi matches.
yeah I started doing nogi too because just gi nogi's getting big. Samuel been telling me like, oh, you should do nogi, you should do nogi. Well, I was tired, man. For nogi, I was tired after open weight. That was too much fight. That's like a lot. Next time, I just gonna go for my weight in the gi and my weight in nogi. But it
Awesome.
was fun. I love Nogi. I like the rules. It's a different thing. I don't have the grips. I have to use moves. And Nogi is good. It's not all time, but Nogi is good because it's not stalling. You don't have like a grip to keep holding the guy. You can move more. But some guys still stalling.
So we talked about how active you've been this year. You did a bunch of tournaments already in 2023. Do you have any plans for your next tournaments this year?
I think the next one is gonna be. I'm gonna try to fight Phoenix Open.
Awesome.
I tried to sign up for Orlando Open, but they closed out the registration. Now
So
just wait for Phoenix.
Phoenix Open next.
Yeah,
Amazing.
Gi no
Cool.
Gi.
Gi and Nogi. Great.
No Gi.
So we talked a little bit before we started recording about what you're currently up to in terms of your training and your living situation. You're in Southern California, training with Lucas. You're doing some teaching. So how's that been going? How have you been liking training with
Man,
Lucas on a more consistent basis and doing your teaching as well in California?
oh, it's amazing. Training with Lucas, have a lot of good guys there. We have Luna brothers, Mateus Gabriel and Samuel. They come over too. Oh, we have a lot of talents there. We have Professor Arnaldo. There's a lot of tough people there. Panza, and you just get motivated when you train with those guys. The young guy. He's a brown belt. Smurf. They call him Smurf. He's
Hmm.
really good. He's really good with his loop chokes. And I believe if you want to be a beast, you want to be a high level, you need to train with those beasts. No?
Yep.
Some days is your day. Some days is not your day. You get back home crying. But it's fun. I love it. Jiu-jitsu is amazing, man. Just to be able to train with people like that, I'm really so grateful. I've been telling Lucas all the time, like, I'm so grateful just to be here. And Lucas like, it's okay. Because Lucas doesn't know how good he is. He doesn't understand how important he is for everybody there, for all the students. It's amazing, man. Just learning from him every day. He showed different things like Nogi. I never knew heel hook. I never trained Nogi my whole life, and I just learned Nogi from Lucas. Everything I know, I started doing Nogi when I got my black belt, and it's very fun.
So you've learned a lot from Lucas, like you said, from a technical perspective, but I know you've learned a lot from him as a coach too, because you're doing some coaching and some teaching. What are some of the things you've learned from Lucas as a coach, and how have you been able to apply that to your work as a coach and a teacher?
Being coaching and teacher is amazing too. I've been learning for Lucas. I think the most important thing, his passion for jiu-jitsu. He loves jiu-jitsu, like us, right? We all
Yeah.
love jiu-jitsu too. But it's very good when you see that in somebody high level like him. He been competing so many tournaments for so many years, but he still loves jiu-jitsu. And I'm younger than him. I'm 29, and that's given me a lot of motivation. I feel like, wow, when I be like his age, I still want to be able to training, teaching people, making new champions. I'm pretty sure he made a big impact in my brother camp too. My brother, he won awards because he's good, but Lucas, he put a lot of work on him too, and and that's amazing. I hope one day I can make a lot of world champs like him. He made it. Mateus Gabriel, the Luna brothers. He pushed me, and that's amazing. I hope I be a coach like him one day. I love coaching. I coach at Sector. I coach a sector. Is a Sean Robert gym. It's a great gym, great environment. A lot of good people there. Always they hungry to learn, and it's amazing, man. I've been teaching there for like almost 3 years, I think, and it's amazing. Work with what you love is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
Every day you wake up, you tired sometimes because you got beat up last day, but you feel great. You feel like, wow, I go there for teach people, and people want to learn. That's why I love jujitsu. Sometimes you show up like tired, I'm so tired today. I trained so hard Monday and Tuesday. Today is only Wednesday. I have 2 more days, and a brand new white belt come to you asking question like they so into jiu-jitsu, like, wow, how I do this, how I do that, and that's giving me motivation. I feel like, wow, still people still hungry, for learn jiu-jitsu.
That's amazing. Well, you're putting in a ton of great work into your craft, and the results are definitely showing up. So, congratulations on all the great results you've had in 2023.
Thank
Anything
you,
else you
brother.
wanted to touch on before we wrap this up, Jackson?
No, I just want to say thank you for IBJJF always giving you support, everything, and make these amazing tournaments. And I hope the new generation understand how important jiu-jitsu is, not just for tournaments, right? Not just for gold medals, but it's a lifestyle. Like always, we're learning. Doesn't matter how good how hard the life is, how hard the tournament is. We gotta go for it. We gotta step on, go for the fight. And if you win or lose, that's I've been telling my students all the time. If you win or lose on Monday, we go back to the mat again. If you win, we on the mat again. If you lose, we go back fix our mistakes. Okay. The learn is forever. Always stay with the white belt mentality.
Amazing. Thanks again for your time, Jackson.
Thank you,
Thanks everyone
brother.
for watching. We'll see you guys soon
Appreciate.
for another episode of the podcast. Take care.
Oh,